Big J, Jeremiah from Atlanta, Georgia said, which teams do you feel could be the most unpredictable this year? Like they could be a playoff sleeper or have a losing record. Oh, it's everywhere, Jeremiah. Florida State's one of them. In fact, Florida State has been the entire body of that tweet over the past 24 months. They've been a playoff team or a playoff contender in a 12-team format. They would have been in the playoff. And then they've been the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Not just in football. The worst thing I've ever seen, period. They were 3 games below the worst case scenario last year. Do you realize that? Do you realize what that does to one's confidence when I stand here or I sit here every year and I do my record projections? There they go. Is that the Florida State B-roll? Bradley, you rolling the Florida State B? I think that was the Florida State B-roll from last year. So Florida State last year ended up going 2-10, right, Jesse? That was their final record. We did their worst case scenario on the show in August, and we had 5-7 as the worst case. 3 full games below the worst case. It made me rethink everything. The team quit on them. Now, they had a lot of players go out. They had a lot of players come in. They only had the number 36 portal class, though. But I can tell you, when I was down there in spring, Mike Norvell said we went back to trusting proven production over potential. So they didn't go and load up on a lot of guys that were former 4-stars that just hadn't started at Bama or hadn't started at Texas or Ohio State. But you're thinking, oh, but they'll be stars here. No, you don't know that. They may not have been starting at Bama because they weren't good enough to play for many reasons, anywhere. Because Bama misses on guys occasionally too. Georgia misses on guys occasionally too. So you can't just go take the big boys' backups and magically think, throw them in the pot, mix it all up, pour it out, boom, 10 wins. That's arrogance. And they had a little of it last year. So Mike Norvell said, no, we went and got players who have played before, and we're counting on them. Okay, if it works out, great. But you got a new QB, you got a new offensive coordinator, you got a new defensive coordinator, you play Alabama, Miami, Clemson, and FSU. Bama, Miami, and Clemson. How fragile are you if you lose week 1? How mentally tough are you if you lose week 1? I guess is the positive spin on that. Florida State could bounce right back. Florida State could also be a disaster again. I have no idea. Next up, I have no idea what to expect from the Auburn Tigers. Auburn was 5-7 last year. All right, so Auburn goes 5-7 last year. They had 9 combined turnovers against Cal and Arkansas, both losses. They had that pick 6 late against Oklahoma, a game I was sure they'd win, and they lost that one. They led Missouri by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. The quarterback comes back from the hospital like Austin at Royal Rumble 1999, only that was pro wrestling and it was fake. This was real life. This happened to Auburn. They invented ways to lose games last year. There is a school of thought out there that is flawed, that anytime that happens to you one year, it magically inverts the next year. USC people are counting on this. Oh, we lost all those one-possession games. We'll be on the plus side of those this year. No, you could just be on the minus side, or you could lose games by more than 1 possession the next year. There's no guarantee of that. That's not how the world works. That's not how the universe actually operates. If I had a bad day yesterday, my day the next day could suck. What you hope is you learned lessons from the bad times and you applied them and you course corrected. That's why the good times follow. But if they didn't correct, or in this case, if they went and got the wrong quarterback out of the portal in Jackson Arnold, it's going to blow up again. They got a good roster. They got 4 recruiting classes stacked on top of each other. 2 of them were top 20. 2 of them were top 10. They've got the number 7 portal class there. They play 5 of my top 25 teams in the country, though, in the first 7 games. So, you better have it figured out. This is not a situation like the Ole Miss schedule where you got a whole month in the front half of your season to figure things out. Nope, that's not Auburn. Auburn could be a playoff team. Auburn could miss a bowl game, and neither would surprise me. Next up, we'll get back to the video 1 second. Do me one quick favor. Look down. Make sure you're subscribed. Most of you are. If you're not, please do so. It's the way we keep the channel free, we keep the videos coming, and we get to do college football year-round as God intended. All right, as promised, back to the video. USC. Just mentioned them. Foreshadowing. I can't believe we're in a spot. It stuns me. It floors me that we are in a position in the United States of America in 2025 where the AP has given up on USC. They ranked them 30th to start the year, and it's me, or rather the JP poll, powered by the model, that is propping USC up. We got them 15th. We have not given up on USC. I hope people are listening out there. We have not given up on Lincoln Riley. We have not given up on the Trojans. But how do we get to the place where I'm the one from rural Harris County, Georgia? As a youth, I was taught to despise USC. They love talking about that on the message board, like it has any impact on how I view the team present day. Obviously not, because I'm rooting for you to prove me right. Yeah, people don't believe in USC because they lost a lot of games last year. Does that carry over? Or did they learn lessons? Did they apply those lessons? And do they course correct? If they did, if they've Big Ten proofed their lines of scrimmage and they're bigger and more physical and able to withstand a pounding and maybe even inflict some punishment, that is legal in this game, they could be 11-1. They could also be 6-6. You could be looking for a new head coach. All of those things could happen. Illinois, Notre Dame, Nebraska, and Oregon all on the road. So if you don't have good decision-making at the quarterback position, if you don't have the ability to be consistent offensively, if you can't control the line of scrimmage, you're just going to disappoint again. They are so convinced they've made the right moves there. It's not window dressing. I'm around window dressing a lot. I know hollow words when I hear them. They're not hollow at USC. They are firmly convinced. I mean, Lincoln Riley, when I was out there in the spring, it was almost, I mean, he wasn't being cocky about it, but it was hard for him to contain how resolute he was. It was almost like, I mean, you'll see. You just watch the fall. It was like he had the movie script in his hand, like he's holding the script of Almost Famous in his hand. And I haven't seen Almost Famous yet. He's got no doubt. This is a great movie in my hands. You'll see come fall. That's how he was talking about his team. He was talking about his team like it was Stillwater. And there's some people in the audience that may not have seen Almost Famous. Almost Famous is one of my top 10 movies of all time, so I highly recommend you watch it. But yeah, so was that it? Does he really have a classic in the works? We'll see. I told you so in advance. If you're watching this in November and that came to fruition, I told you so. Also, I got to put North Carolina in this batch. Now, this is mostly schedule-based. So I don't know if you heard, Bill Belichick's the head coach there. That kind of went under the radar. Not many people talked about that. So Bill Belichick is the old head coach. He's the old ball coach there at North Carolina. Now, they had 41 players leave. They had 42 players added. They had the number 8 portal class. They've got one game against teams that I have power rated top 30. That's Clemson. They play, according to FanDuel's odds, 5 of the bottom 5 teams in the ACC. So if you're able to maintain a pulse and draw a breath every 3 seconds for most of the year, you could win 8 games. I don't know how much more you could do than that. What I am saying is if North Carolina is terrible this year with this schedule, I don't know what their schedule looks like next year. It will never be as workable as this. Even in the ACC, it'll never be as workable as that again. So for that reason alone, I got to put North Carolina in there. I mean, they could just play good, solid football. Like if they did nothing more than not lose games, they could win 9. Like if they just stand on the field and wait for the other team to hand them a game, they could win 9. That's the kind of year it could be. And you'd watch them and you'd say, this team is not good. How in the world are they ranked 19th in the country? Could be that kind of year. Or it could be a disaster.